chosen ones, empaths. You see, most people believe and that a narcissist is created from childhood. But my opinion's probably going to be controversial, and a lot of you are going to disagree with me. But I feel like I should put the message out there anyway. I don't believe that the narcissist is created from childhood. The reason why I don't think the narcissist is created from childhood is because even if we take this to, I prefer to like touch on it from a spiritual aspect, but even if we take it on board from a psychological aspect, there's still a dispute in psychology whether a psychopath is born or they're made. Okay, there's nothing that proves it. There's no law. There's no proven definitive evidence that a psychopath is born or made through their childhood. There's no definitive answer to that. So I believe, if I'm wrong, you're probably going to tell me, but I believe that a narcissist, the same rules apply for a narcissist. If we can't prove it with a psychopath, then we can't prove it with a narcissist. And you can see in the family dynamics that people have endured such traumatic upbringings, yeah? But they don't turn out to be a narcissist. They don't turn out to start taking satisfaction in someone's misery. They become someone who's an empath. They become someone who campaigns and becomes someone who rises above the abuse they faced as a child and actually helps other victims of abuse. And this is someone who is born in a dysfunctional family unit. Whereas you can have a narcissist now who's born in a dysfunctional family unit and they go through abuse as they're younger, and then we say, oh, it's because they had a bad childhood, and we start empathizing with them. I don't believe they deserve any empathy about their childhood. I believe that keeps us trauma bonded. The longer that we keep feeling sorry for them because of what they went through as a child, when there's a load of people that go through worse abuse as a child and they don't turn out to be evil when they get older. Now, this is another controversial point, right? Please press the like and the subscribe button. Help your brother out. It'll take 2 seconds of your time. Thank you. I've got a belief, and I don't have any evidence for it, but it's just how I feel, and I feel like I need to express it. So if you don't agree with it, disregard it. Agree with what you can agree with, disregard the rest. But what I feel like is, right, we can't explain the evil that we face in the world, right? We can't explain the evil that we face in the world, can we? We can't, okay? And like, what if prior to us coming to this world from the spiritual aspect, right? Prior to us coming to this world, we were actually chosen to have a heart, to have love, to have care, to have empathetic qualities. And the narcissist, on the other hand, was chosen to be a narcissist. The psychopath was chosen to be a psychopath before birth. And there's something on a higher grand scheme of things through the test of life that we all are in. And we've actually been picked from before we got here to be an empath. Because it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. So that's why I say maybe I'm more on the side of them being born that way. Maybe they were destined to be a narcissist regardless of what happened. Regardless, even if you took them from that family when they were young and you put them in the most positive environment, they would still turn out as a narcissist. Because we've actually got narcissists that have grown up in fairly decent households. They may have been brought up with empathetic parents and they've still turned out to be a narcissist or a psychopath. It's not always, it's easy to blame parents, and we blame the parents and we say, oh, they had a bad upbringing. It's easy for us to say that, but I'm kind of under the thinking that maybe they were just chosen to be a narcissist. There's a reason for them being a narcissist in the world, you know. Perhaps they're just one of Satan's army. Prior to us coming to this earth, they already sided with Satan. Perhaps these psychopaths actually sided with Satan before they got here. Maybe there was something, because there's stuff in the scriptures, the religious scriptures, that say the memory of before was wiped from us. And they say all of the souls were created at the same time, whether that's true or not. But I am under the impression it is. And then we're all appointed to earth at different times since the creation of man. We've all been appointed at different times into the earth. So perhaps we're very fortunate. And that's why we should know our value. Because we don't think like these lot. Look at this, right? This message that I'm coming with today. Sorry if I've gone off topic a bit. It was actually from someone who mentioned they wanted the video in the comments section. So I've tried my best to try put out something. Thank you for that, because it was a good topic that you brought up. So I thank you for that, for me putting this video out. I do appreciate your input, because it was I hope I have touched on some of the areas that you wanted me to. But we do have to just really embrace the fact that it's not that a bad childhood makes a narcissist. A bad childhood doesn't make a narcissist. Empaths can have equally as bad childhood as, like I said, and they don't become narcissists. You know, I believe we were chosen before who is evil and who won't be. You know, but most people believe the narcissist is created from childhood. There's going to be so many people that disagree with me and say, no, the narcissist was created from childhood. They had a bad childhood. Why do they get to be the victim all the time? These lot play the victim even when they're not the victim. How do you even know if they had a bad childhood? That's the thing. If a narcissist comes out and says, I had a bad childhood, it was so bad, oh no. And then we go, or the psychologist says, what happened in your childhood? How do we not know they're lying through their teeth? There's a story in a scripture about people that lied and they were banished from the village. They were banished from the village. No one spoke to them because they lied, right? And the revelation come down in the scripture about these people that had lied. Like, they were banished. No one spoke to them. Like, we can't speak to these people that are narcissists and try and work out what happened in their childhood, because it's probably a bunch of lies. They probably had a beautiful childhood, had everything they wanted, and they'll still play the victim about their life was hard and this and that and this and that, you know? So we can't even trust them. You can't trust them in marriage counseling. You can't trust them in psychology. And they'll pull the wool over the eyes of the psychologist or the marriage counselor. This is what they do. They'll make you out to be the weirdo. They'll make you out to be a narcissist. You as an empath will be looking like a narcissist in front of a psychologist, because the narcissist is so good at manipulation. They'll manipulate the psychologist. A really good psychologist will see through it, but a lot of them will just manipulate. Some of the lower down psychologists and stuff, narcissists will just have their way with them, man. Make them, you know. And I just don't think we should give it any thought, man. We shouldn't give it any thought. I know I'm giving it thought in this video, but all of us haven't had an easy ride, right? You know, we haven't had an easy ride, and we haven't turned out where we're taking pleasure in seeing someone else's misfortune. You know, we're not getting satisfied off that like the narcissist. We're not feeling empowered by seeing someone suffer. You see what I mean? So we shouldn't excuse the narcissist behavior. Look, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the childhood did create the narcissist. Maybe I'm totally wrong. But that's why I've said I've just put this video out there, because just to lay out my points and what I believe. And honestly speaking, I do not believe that a childhood made the narcissist. I just don't believe it. I just do not believe it. And the reason why I don't is because it still hasn't been proven whether a psychopath was made in childhood or they're born. Right? It's still not proven. So I know that there's telltale signs. I reckon that we could see. I reckon if you wanted to say there were signs that they were going to become a narcissist when they was a child, I reckon I could agree with that, because there's signs of a psychopath when they're a child, right? There's signs that they exude, they show. There's signs that you see with them. So there's signs of a narcissist when they was a child, maybe. That's what I do believe. But I don't believe that their childhood made them be like that, you know? Honestly, there's people that have been through the worst amount of abuse, and I'm sorry to keep repeating myself, but I just need to reinforce the point. They've been through really bad abuse as a child, and they don't become the abuser. They just don't. So it doesn't excuse a narcissist. Regardless if the narcissist had a bad childhood, I want you to understand that all of this is from a spiritual aspect. If you look at narcissism without uncovering the spiritual aspect of it, with the angels, the demons, God, the devil, and you don't incorporate that in it, you'll never have a full understanding of what this is really about. You're never going to understand it. You never will. Because these lot are plugged into the spiritual realm and are functioning off demonic entities. And they've been functioning like that before they met you. You know, that this is what they've done. If your parent is a narcissist, they went through their whole journey plugged into these creatures, from the spiritual realm, these demonic entities, and basically they fasten their way through life with that pattern of behavior, because they're plugged into these. And that's the only thing that can give you the answer that you're looking for, is to say, yo, I'm dealing with a devil here. I'm dealing with someone evil. They're a devil. And that's the only answer I can give, because that's the only answer you need. Now, on the flip side, an empath is someone who's connected with God. An empath is someone that thinks of others, cares for others, loves others, can feel others' pain. You know, people think it's a curse. It's not a curse, right? Because we're connected to God, we're connected to the Most High, and God blessed us to have this unique outlook in life. What a blessing it is. What a blessing it is to be able to feel others' pain, so you don't go and harm others. You don't want to harm other people. You don't want to bring other people down. You want to kind of uplift people and build people up. So there we go. Guarantee it. I guarantee you can have a brother and a sister in the same household who endured the same upbringing, and one of them can turn out narcissistic and the other one can be an empath. So, you know, that's what you can see in family dynamics. So anyway, I'll leave the video there. I hope this helped to the subscriber that commented. I hope I've touched on some areas. And I hope it's giving you some answers. But anyway, I'll leave the video there. Please press the like and the subscribe button. And if you want a one-to-one session, you can find the details in the description box. Anyway, I'll be back with another video soon. Peace.